And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another thrilling installment of Ask GameSpot. I am Maxwell McGee. This is Sean McInnes.
How you doing, folks?
Wait, I got that wrong.
That's because you're involved in a massive Far Cry fever dream.
Oh,
it's
you're
just
right.
so trippy.
I ate terrible mushrooms.
And we also got not terrible questions.
Yes, we've got great, rich, and compelling questions.
Let me start you off here, Sean.
Okay, let's do this.
Our first question, these are all from Facebook, by the way. This is from Justin TIBERIUS Venters, who wants to know, what is Far Cry 3 doing to alleviate the annoyances of travel that Far Cry 2 had? I felt I spent more time driving than I did having fun blowing stuff up.
So one of the most annoying things about Far Cry 2 was going through those militia outposts where you would get there and the guys would be like, hey, we don't know you, therefore we want to kill you, and you would be sworn by militia. And then you would take care of those guys, drive along, come back, and they would all have respawned.
As any proper militia should.
Which made it tedious to navigate the world. What's nice in Far Cry 3 is that they have these things called bandit outposts where you go and you clear out all the bandits from within them, and then you take over that outpost and it belongs to you for the rest of the game, and that becomes a fast travel option on your map. So you clear out more of those, you get more fast travel options on your map, and you also get a guaranteed selection of vehicles in there as well.
And then you don't have to worry about fighting them again in a second. All right, our next question from Sean Bordeaux. He wants to know, are there a good amount of side quests? In Far Cry 2, it was just the main mission and nothing to do in the giant world aside from weapon missions. I'd like to see side quests similar to the Elder Scrolls series.
So in Far Cry 3, there are side quests that are sort of like when you unlock your bandit outposts, you get these wanted boards, which let you go and take out like specific bandits within different camps on the island, or you also get like hunting quests that say you have to kill such and such animal with a specific weapon. So maybe it's like kill 5 deer with a sniper rifle, or go kill a bear inside of its dark cave with a shotgun, which requires you getting about 3 feet away from a bear.
I'm pretty sure sniper rifles and shotguns are not part of like proper hunting etiquette. I think there's some rules and standards there that we're just glossing over.
You know what? Rules don't apply on this island. So there's that stuff. You can also like kill animals and skin them, and you get leather, and you actually build like new leather pouches and things to carry more items and gear and that sort of thing. So there's a whole crafting system going on. There's side quests. You can collect herbs and flowers and make like potions and medicines and things like that. So I would say there's a lot more than Far Cry 2 had.
Our next question from Connor Bate. He wants to know, I need to know, is it possible to play the entire game, bar cutscenes or key events, stealthily, or do I need to bring out the big guns every once in a while?
I feel like you probably do need to bring out the big guns once in a while for the story missions. Those are, they tend to be structured in such a way where, you can kind of start out playing however you want, but eventually it's going to sort of put you in a specific situation where you need to go guns blazing. With the other side stuff, like the bandit outposts, you can play a little bit more within your own style, stealthily if you prefer. But I feel like the story missions, granted, I've only played like the first 3 or 4 hours of the game, but I feel like the story missions are a little bit more specific in that regard.
So it's not like a Dishonored kind of situation?
No. You can't ghost the whole game and no-kill the whole thing. You will need to kill lots of things in Far Cry 3.
Our next question from Gustavo Schroeder. He wants to know, actually this is more of a statement, name the nationality of the main character. Do it!
So his name is Jason Brody, which A, is a name that literally has the word bro in it, and B, not to be confused with Jet Brody, the hero of the classic third-person shooter from LucasArts, Fracture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And nationality, American-ish. You know?
That's official. That's probably on his birth certificate.
I feel like maybe he's from Delaware.
Doctors weren't quite too sure.
He's from either Delaware or maybe Idaho.
Just a little bit of ish in there.
American-ish.
A long line of ish in there.
American-ish. Jason Brody.
Next question, not from Jason Brody, rather from TIAGO Castro, who wants to know, will it feature a co-op campaign?
There are co-op missions. I don't know if it's like a fully fleshed out sequential campaign where each mission goes from, follows a story thread from one to the other. I do know that there's co-op missions. It's 4 players. You guys are competing against enemies. As for the whole structure of it, I'm not sure. That's a good question. You stumped me.
Our next question comes from Saeed Marabi. He wants to know, swimming in the sea is comfortable, or we should always be careful of shark attacks? The sea to this beauty must be challenging and dangerous like Voss. Even the specific missions of the time for this part of the game design.
That was the most beautiful haiku that I've ever heard in my lifetime. So, Saeed, well done there. I'm
Powerful stuff.
What I gather from that is that you want to know about whether the sea is dangerous because there are sharks.
I think he wants to know if you're going to be hunting sharks.
Are you going to? Yes, you can hunt sharks in the
Baller.
game. So what you do is you climb these radio towers, and it's sort of like synchronizing the map in Assassin's Creed, where it starts with a fog of war on the map. You climb up, you synchronize, and then you unlock all these like different icons on your map, and I believe that includes known locations of specific animals.
Like
so
sharks.
you can find out which parts of the ocean the sharks tend to hang out in. It's not a guarantee, but you kind of know they're located there. So maybe it's best to avoid that if you don't want to go after sharks, but if you do, that's where you want to go. That said, there are other animals in the water, like giant stingrays as well, and sea turtles, which don't attack you, but they are adorable. But the rivers and things like that, water inland, it tends to be much safer.
This next question comes from Brian CHALUPNICKI, maybe? Will there be more choices with weapons, like bipods that actually work, or accessories you can add like foregrips and upgrades? Adding a silencer to any weapon would be nice.
So there is a weapon customization system when you stroll into one of those gun shops. You can spend some of your extra cash on customizing your weapon. I don't think specifically things like bipods and silencers are part of that, but you can add like extended magazines, red dot sights, new scopes, things like that. I haven't tooled around with that stuff very much. I don't know how effective that is or whether it's a complete waste of your money or not. That remains to be seen, but there is a little bit of light weapon customization. It's not too deep, but you know, it is there, and that is something that you can do if you want to.
We got a simple one here from Sam Hubbard who wants to know, is there weapon deterioration?
No, I don't believe so.
Boom, question answered. Stuart Shane wants to know, are there going to be those annoying enemy bases every 20 feet, and is the main character going to be plagued with malaria or some shit again? That got really old really fast. Let me tell you what, malaria, what a hassle.
Wow,
Am I right, Sean?
What a
pain in the
What
A.
a buzzkill. What a buzzkill. So we already answered the question about annoying enemy bases every 20 feet. Well, I guess that's more about the placement of enemy bases. They don't seem to be as frequent as they did in Far Cry 2, but at the same time, they're not as annoying as they were in Far Cry 2. So maybe that's why they seem a little bit more spaced out. I'm not sure.
Balances out a little bit.
I don't know specifically about like the density in terms of geography.
What about the amount of malaria?
The amount of malaria, you are not plagued with malaria or some shit. You're not plagued with some shit. What you are plagued with is insanity.
I got a case of the craze.
I got a case of the crazies. Everyone on this island is just a little bit off. You meet some really wacky characters, especially including the main villain, Voss, who is just off his rocker. So I think there's like, the fiction of the game kind of suggests that like, this island has some control over you, and it's kind of digging its tendrils into everybody. So you have to worry about insanity and probably like getting an infection from all the sweet tribal tattoos that you get in the game.
You get a lot of sweet.
And whatever diseases you get when a shark bites you. Like, I don't know.
As we saw in the previous question.
Yeah, exactly. So those are things you need to watch out for. Malaria, you're all good. I think old Jason Brody had his malaria shots.
And now our last and final question comes from the tried and true XX Naruto fan 117XX via transmission from Halo Waypoint. I'm not even sure how that system works.
What?
He wants to know, I'm a man who enjoys the finer things in life, such as carrying around bags full of wet, delicious meat in hot, tropical climates.
Ooh.
Is this a game that will appeal to my particular interest in life?
Well, XX Naruto fan 117XX, you like carrying around bags full of wet meat in hot tropical weather? Well, let's just say you're weird, but also in luck. And this concludes our latest episode of Ask GameSpot. I hope that answered all the questions you had about Far Cry 3 and then some, but if it didn't, feel free to ask some more in the comments and I'll see if I can't clarify anything. Anyways, that's Maxwell McGee. I'm Sean McInnes. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you later.